Hey guys, I just wanted to say before we hop into this video, in case anyone was wondering, this video is going to be spoiler free. So if you're up to date with the manga and if you're up to date with the anime, this video is fine to watch. I'll go even further and say that even if you're just up to, I say Punk Hazard in the anime, and for some reason Punk Hazard in the manga, if you started One Piece late, then this is also fine to watch. Everything that I say in this video is just based on facts up to this certain point, and if it's not facts based, it's just my own personal opinion and nothing else. So like I said, if you're up to date with anime and manga, this should be fine to watch. So let's do this, yo! Hey guys, how you doing? This is Manga etc. and today I'm bringing you my first discussion video. And for my discussion video, I've decided to talk about the topic. The topic is going to be Tony Chopper from the Straw Hat Pirates. And since I will be talking about Tony Chopper, aka Chopper, I thought I'd wear the appropriate attire. I got my chopper tee on. So yeah guys, so in this video I'm basically going to be talking about Chopper from the past to the present, and based on everything that's happened with Chopper, how I see Chopper, how he can progress in the future, what I think his progressions will be in the future, and this is what this video is going to be about. So let's hop into it. So we know that Chopper, he's the first crew member to join after the Straw Hats get onto the Grand Line. We know that Chopper is the Straw Hat's doctor, but before he became all of these things, he did have a very sad life. Basically, from he was born, his parents neglected him, the rest of his herd neglected him, and this is all because he had a blue nose, which is very deep. Just like a little small thing of having a blue nose, he was neglected all this time. This neglection increased when he ate the Hito no Mi, aka the human fruit, and where it just got to a point where the herd didn't even want them with him anymore, and they just bullied him into a fact where Chopper had to leave the herd because he was no longer wanted in the herd. So this led Chopper to make friends, make family elsewhere. So he tried to socialize with humans. Seeing how he could transform into a human form, he figured, let's try to make friends with humans. But this didn't work either, because his human form didn't look human. It looked more of a monster, of a yeti of sorts. So this led to humans trying to kill him, and that didn't work out for him either, making him run away from the humans when he just wanted to be friends with them. It was soon after this that Chopper met his first friend, Dr. Hiraluk, and they met on some crazy terms, I can say that for the least. But Dr. Hiraluk, he found Chopper when he was wounded. It looked like he had been shot, and Dr. Hiraluk took it upon himself to care for Chopper's wounds. And it's during this time, it took a year for the wounds to heal, and it was during this time Dr. Hiraluk, he took Chopper under his wing. Basically, Chopper started to help Dr. Hiraluk in his everyday life. It was Dr. Hiraluk that gave Chopper his name and his hat. They just basically became friends during this year of Chopper healing, and it was after this year of Chopper healing that Dr. Hiraluk started to be cold towards Chopper. He wanted him out of the way, and at first it seemed like this was for no reason at all, but we later then find out that it was because Dr. Hiraluk was dying and he didn't want Chopper to see him die, so he's tried to get rid of him. When Chopper does find out the reason why Dr. Hiraluk started to be so cold towards him, Chopper took it among himself to try and save Dr. Hiraluk. And how he does this is because he remembers hearing about this mushroom that supposedly could cure all diseases. So Chopper took it upon himself to find this mushroom. And he does manage to find this mushroom. He does manage to give it to Dr. Hiruluk, but he was unaware of the fact that this mushroom is not all-purpose medicine. It's actually deadly. It's actually poisonous. In fact, it decreased the amount of time that Dr. Hiruluk had left. But of course, Chopper didn't know this at the time. Dr. Hiruluk had two dying wishes. The first one was for Dr. Kuriha to not finish, because he finished his life work. He just wanted Dr. Kuriha to mass produce it in a sense. But yeah, that sidetracks a bit, so I'm not going to go too deep into that. But the second wish, the more important wish for this video, is for Dr. Kuriha to make Chopper a doctor, teach him about medical science so he can become a proper doctor. And of course, because of the way Dr. Kuriha is, she refuses this at first. It's Dr. Kuriha who breaks the bad news to Chopper about the mushroom, telling him that it wasn't an all-purpose medicine, and to the fact that you just shortened your friend's life. And obviously he's very sad about this, and he does get a bit angry about this. But it's later on after this that we see Chopper, and he's very upset. He's waving his friend's pirate flag, which again is a bit sidetracking, so I won't go into that in too deep. But he's waving his friend's pirate flag, which is a symbol of how that he wants to create a medicine that cures all diseases. And it's just Chopper. He's basically saying that I'm going to be the all-purpose cure medicine. I'm going to be such a great doctor that I can cure any disease. But first, he's saying this stuff to Korea. First, I need you to help me become a doctor. I need you to do that for me. And he's crying. He's very adamant about this. And this is the birth of Chopper's dream, basically. And it's after this that Korea said, she doesn't say it, but she's like, all right, I'll teach you about medical science. I'll make you become a doctor. So yeah, that's Chopper's backstory, and there's no more stuff about Chopper. So we know he's got the Hito no Mi, which is a Zoan type, and we know that Zoans have two forms: the normal form, their hybrid form, and in case the animal form. For Chopper, it's not an animal; it's a human form. So for Chopper, he's got what he calls his walking point. And I forgot, or I actually never knew, but his walking point, that's his original form. That's his original form. His hybrid form, the form that we usually see Chopper in, that's his hybrid form, also known as his brain point. You see his human form, which is his heavy point. Now Chopper, being like a doctor, being part human, he's slightly smarter than that. He's got human intelligence, basically. That's what I should say. And it's because of this human intelligence he was able to create, I think it's actually a drug, and it's called the Rumble Ball. And this Rumble Ball has given him additional forms that he can use. And as we know, Chopper uses all of his forms for combat purposes, mostly for combat purposes, but for other things as well, like treatments and such. But it's mostly for combat purposes, as we've seen in all of Chopper's fights. Chopper doesn't have a lot of fights, but Skypiea, Enel's Lobby, and so forth. But he uses these points to combat them. We're introduced to all of Chopper's points, so from the very first arc that he's introduced. So we fairly know all about Chopper's combat powers from the get-go. Like, there's no surprises until Enel's Lobby. And it's in Enel's Lobby that we find out that if Chopper eats 3 Rumble Balls within a 6-hour period, that something could happen. Firstly, it goes into, if he eats 2 Rumble Balls within this 6-hour period, he can no longer control what point he transforms into. So he might want to go for a heavy point but end up in warp point. and so forth and so forth. It's only then when he eats the third rumble ball within the 6 hour period, he transforms into an additional point, which is known as monster point. Yeah, but we have monster point now, and the first time it's introduced, it's just, we find out that it's just a monster. It's just rampaging. This point cannot tell friend from foe, as we see as it attacks, tries to hit Frankie, but it also takes out Chopper's Enen's lobby fight person. I've forgotten his name. And that's it for Chopper until we get to, we have the time skip now, and then when Chopper comes back, he's rocking some new points. Some of his old points look different, and unfortunately we lose some of his old points. And the arm point was my favorite point, and we just do not have that right now. But in addition to this, he no longer needs the rumble ball to change into any of his points except one, which is the monster point. He goes on to say that if he eats one rumble ball, he can transform into the monster point for 3 minutes. However, and I should have mentioned this before, but the monster point still does have a drawback of how after it's been used, Chopper is no longer to move for stated roughly 2 to 3 hours. And that is, in essence, Chopper in a nutshell. So now I'm going to talk about what I personally expect from Chopper in the, not the near future, but in the future of One Piece. So I'm basically going to talk about how I see Chopper at the end, by the end of One Piece. So, and I see two things for Chopper to come. The first thing I expect to see is, I do reckon that Chopper will eat three rumble balls again within a 6 hour period, and I do think that this will give birth to a new point stronger than monster point. I don't know, I was trying to think of a name which could suit this point, and I thought to myself, what is beyond a monster? And I couldn't really think of anything except for alien, but that doesn't really sound too great. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to call this point alien point. So what I think alien point will be is what is going to be Chopper eating 3 rumble balls again within a 6 hour period, and he transforms into alien point. I have no idea whatsoever what this point will look like, but I do reckon Chopper will be, it will be an out of control point again for Chopper, and you have no control over it. Kind of like monster point pre-time skip, but obviously stronger, faster, whatever. Yeah, whatever. The second thing I do expect from Chopper is obviously for him to awaken. And now we have seen awakened Zoans in the past. If you remember, some of the guards in Impel Down were awakened Zoans, and now awakened Zoans are said to be tougher, faster, stronger. They have faster recovery time, and just seem to act out on animal instincts. Now, obviously, for Chopper, some of these things will be slightly different because his animal is a human. So if Chopper does awaken, I do think that Chopper, for looks wise, because I do have an idea of how this should look, he'll be the perfect human. He'll look fully human, so not like his heavy point pre-times, closer to his heavy point pre-time skip, but not like looking like a Yeti. He'll look like a human. He won't have no hair on his chest, whatever. He'll look perfectly human. He'll be black. I'm not racist, but he'll be black, and yeah, he'll just be stronger, tougher, faster. The whole thing about how awakened Zoans act on instinct, I do think that instead of acting on instinct, Chopper will be smarter. they say how that humans can only use 10% of their brain's capacity. I reckon when Chopper awakens, he'll be able to use more than 10%. And this will lead on to the fact that because he's using more than 10% of his brain's capacity, I do think this will play a part into what he can do. I think that Chopper will be able to will be a master, if not have the basics unlock of both armament haki and observation haki. I do also believe that Chopper will be able to naturally do like all the CP9 attacks, just because he's unlocked more than 10% of his brain power's capacity. I also do believe he'll be able to do some more things that I can't even think of, but that is what I do see for Chopper, and once he awakens. But I don't expect Chopper to awaken until, I say, the end of One Piece. Like when we're coming to the very, very, very end of One Piece, I don't expect him to awaken, and that'll be for the first time. And then after that, we might see it a few more times after that. As I said, for this alien point, I don't see that coming for like until we're halfway down the new world. So not for now, obviously. The reason why I don't see alien point coming until we're halfway down the new world is because we haven't seen nothing from Monster Point yet. At most, we've seen one named attack. So like, we don't know the full extent. We don't know the full extent of Monster Point. We've still yet to see it. There's still more to come from Monster Point. So this is why I say halfway down the new world, because we don't really get much fights from Chopper. So I don't think Chopper would have to go full out for a few arcs, and that will be halfway down the new worlds, and that's when we see Alien Point, because Chopper doesn't really get that much fights. So far, Chopper hasn't really got that much fights. So if the trend continues, he won't get that much fights. So therefore, he won't have the need to go full out. So therefore, we will not see Alien Point until halfway down the new world. Just wanted to add that in there as well. And yeah, guys, that's it. Tell me your thoughts on your opinions of what I've said about Chopper. Do you agree with Alien Point? Do you agree with his awakening? Did I leave something else out? Did I leave something out that you would like to see in Awakening? And yeah, if you like this One Piece discussion, then let's talk about Chopper. That's what I'm going to call it. What other characters would you like me to do? Would you like me to do Usopp? Would you like me to do Frankie? The reason I'm saying Usopp and Frankie is because I would like to try and stay away from the Monster Trio, because that's fairly typical, typical. You could probably find somebody else doing that. I chose Tony Chopper. It was part of the reason because he's a very not focused on character, but there was a manga chapter that prompted this video, like I said before previously. But yeah, guys, I'm just going to leave it at that. Please rate, comment, subscribe. Take care. Have a nice day.